Be your own savior while you can. Marcus Aurelius. This is part 5 of our 3 interview question video series. As a reminder, my name is Lisa. I'm an HR director with a Masters of Information. I've hired thousands of people over my 25-year career, and I'm the author of the book, Think Like a Recruiter, Get That Job. I've taken another 3 questions from my book to discuss now in this video. The approaches I have provided to answer these questions are just opinions on what I feel employers are looking for in candidates. For more information, watch parts 1 to 4. Let's delve into it now. The first question is a situational question, which is a what-if question to see how you will respond. You can turn it into a behavioral question, which will help the committee predict how you will respond to a similar situation in future by providing your real-life experience to answer it if you have one. It is also an opportunity to showcase your planning skills and critical thinking as to all the steps one must take to get an idea to the finish line. The question is, you have come up with a better way to do a process at work. What are your next steps? This question is designed to see that you follow a process, get buy-in, do research, and work with your colleagues. Everything's interdependent if you work for a company, so you must show that you understand that piece and can work with different departments. Your answer should include step 1, talk to your manager and let them know you think you might have a better process. But you need to do research on the process. You can check with your colleagues to get feedback or run tests if that's allowed. Step 2, once you feel like you have something tangible, go back to your manager with the data and see if you can bring it to a team meeting. Step 3, it might be, if this is allowed at your level, to put you in charge of creating the project plan. If it is a simple change, it might be to test it, roll it out with communication. The key things here are to get approval, research, test, get buy-in from colleagues, and then communication. Step 4, evaluate. Do not forget, the employer wants innovative people that keeps the company lean, efficient, and at the top of the industry. The next question is a sensitive question, but the company will want to know if you will follow the policy that you will not let people dump and run by allowing them to keep this information confidential. The company has an obligation under law and policy normally to deal with allegations. You have obligations under the policy too. The question is, a colleague has come to you and told you that they are being bullied, but they don't want you to tell anyone. What do? This question is difficult for many people, and I might be biased as I'm in human resources. There's a clear path to answer this question that helps the person and yourself along the way. Most employers, depending on their location, will have a legislative policy in place about anti-harassment and discrimination. If you're working right now, read the policy so that you're prepared. And if you're not employed there, look online to see if their policy is posted for everyone to see for the public. Sometimes they are included in a policy about prevention of violence in the workplace. Normally there's a section with employee responsibility, so definitely review that section. But see what the other responsibility sections are for managers in human resources. Those are the people that are interviewing you right now, and here are the steps. Step 1, tell the panel that you would tell the person that you might not be able to keep this information confidential if there is a bullying concern because it might violate the policy. Step 2, depending on what you are told, you might be able to work through it with the colleague, and maybe together you can work it out with the person they are complaining about in the scenario. Some examples I have seen are that a person doesn't say good morning to them and they feel that they're bullied. It really can be as simple as that piece. Technically, there is more under the surface, but this video will not address that piece. In other situations, the manager and human resources need to be involved. No one is asking you to be human resources. If it cannot be resolved as it is too deep and large a situation, you would tell the colleague you will support them as they go to tell their manager. Situations like this must be dealt with immediately before they progress. No one will get in trouble for trying to resolve this type of situation. The colleague is coming to you because they're asking for help. The recruiter wants to see if you will do the right thing, follow the policy, be empathetic, and try to make the workplace a non-toxic workplace. Step 3, if the situation is beyond you and the colleague, you seek out the assistance from the manager. I think showing that you first listened and tried to resolve the situation at your level takes courage and shows initiative. Again, I'm not telling you to take on human resources role, but sometimes the person accused might not even know their actions are being perceived as being bullying, and once it's brought to their attention, it stops. The recruiter wants to see that you will work as a team, support your colleagues, and deal with difficult situations head on, all while ensuring the work gets done. I'm interrupting this video to, first of all, thank you for watching the video. If you found value in the content, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing. It doesn't cost you anything, but it would really help my channel. Thank you, and back to the video. If you're in a supervisor or manager role, the question would be worded like, an employee has come to you and advised that they are being bullied. What do you do? This question should not be difficult for you as you deal with difficult situations every day. Step 1, you tell the employee immediately that you will not be able to keep this confidential and will follow the policy. Listen and take notes of the person's complaint. Depending on the policy, you might ask for a written statement from them. Advise them that you will follow the policy and will be following up with the other employee, and they may have a very different perspective. Step 2, once you ascertain the complaint, you can reflect on the policy, possibly advise your direct manager, depending on your culture, and check with human resources. Step 3, meet with the other employee and get their side of the story. Now, this is an interview, so you do not have to have all the steps done perfectly. The key pieces that you want them to know are that you take these concerns seriously and will address them in a timely manner. Also, you will follow the policy, investigate, and keep parties informed of the progress. We have all seen the media and social media that this is a hot button issue, so I think be prepared for the question related to a sensitive subject such as this during an interview makes sense. And also make sure you talk to human resources. The last question is a must to be prepared for depending on the level of position you are interviewing for. Based on the type of business and level of position, you should be listing what you think the first few months should look like. The question is, if you are offered this position, what will your first 6 months or some other shorter period of time, like 120 days, look like? The answer, of course, depends on your position, but this is where your research on the company and research about the job can shine when answering this question. Think about big ticket items that the company might face that can relate to your position level. You might have seen something in the strategic plan that relates. If you have been told key objectives, you would include those pieces, but be realistic. If they have 10 items on the list, just list what you think is reasonable, and the others can go on the project plan with timelines that work for the organization. You can also discuss getting familiar with the company policies and procedures and meeting with employees and learning the culture. Again, it depends on the position level, so you will need to prepare based on everything you learned in advance. Plus, anything that was said during the interview, pay close attention to what is said at the beginning of the interview. The preamble can give you lots of information. Listen and note the follow-up questions they ask you during the interview, as you might glean information from them. That is why I suggest bringing a pen and a notepad. You can ask them if it's okay to take notes, and most will have no problem with it. Well, that's it for part 5 of the interview question series. So today we covered what we think are 3 of the best interview questions you need to be prepared to answer, and included suggested approaches to answer those questions. If you've not already had time, please check out parts 1 to 4 in the series. Stay tuned for part 6. You've got this.